Hey guys, Happy New Year's 2020. The Roaring 20s as they're calling it. All right, back to work. So one thing that I did not do from the previous year was do this little bend on this skin. Now I talked about this previously. I didn't really like how this bend came out. It's not perfect, and my perfectionism is kind of eating me on it a little bit because it just bugs me. When I put it all up on the frame and got it all clecoed up, though, it looked fine. Like it looked great. I had no complaints at all. But still, it's one of those things when I lay it here, I can look at and see all these slight imperfections, and it just bugs the crap out of me. So I hadn't done this one yet because I wanted to try to figure out better ways to do this one. Now, a number of you, I had brought up maybe, using heat or something to kind of anneal it or help get it to a point where I could do this bend a little bit better. And a lot of you were like, no, don't use heat. That's going to ruin the integrity of the aluminum, or worse, burn the aluminum, or a number of different things. I'm a little congested in the new year. So no heat. Got it. Going through and, doing it the hard way seems to be the correct way, for a lack of a better term. I'm going to go through here right now and pull this bluing off and work on doing this the hard way. I don't know of a better way of doing it. I mean, you literally have to brute force it. I would say this is one of the areas I wish Vans would have done this for us. Most of the other areas, I'm trying to think, most of the other areas where you have to bend something, they do the bend for you. I mean, some of these skins on here are flat when you get them, but they just kind of lay down nicely, so it's not like you have to impart this bend. It just kind of happens as part of the shaping it to the plane. Whereas this one, if you don't bend it and you try to crank it over there, it will kind of pull the parts out of alignment a little bit. So you want it to bend so that it rests smoothly against the hole, not so it's like pulling. I've done that here, but I'm still not proud of it. And so now I'm going to try to do it here. But first, got to get this bluing off. And we're going to get that bluing off using the trusty broom trick, which you can see I've done a number of times before. Just wrapping, it's good to get it started a little, and then just wrap it around the broom, and then just start twisting. And it comes off nicely. It's very little effort. There you go. Easy. Way easier than doing it, manhandling it off. Oops. I rub into this all the time. So this is where the cargo door is right here. And this piece of skin, which makes sense if you look at this cargo area, goes, right here. But I still rub against it all the time. No big deal. You'll actually cut this off of the other side, and someone had asked me if it would be possible to put cargo doors on both sides of the plane, basically fabricating all of this on both sides. Maybe I would worry a little bit about structural integrity, but not too much. And you could actually just get two of these skins and just replace this skin with this, replace this skin with another one of these so that it has this door already cut out. Not cut this flange off of that side, and you could potentially have two cargo doors, I guess. I'd have to really look at it to see if there was any other integrity problems. I mean, on this side you have this extra longeron that you don't have here, obviously, because the cargo door goes here. But, I don't know that that's super structural at that point. Again, it really comes to how this is going to attach here, which I'm not sure yet. So, to answer your question, could you potentially have like a pass-through cargo door system? Yeah, you could. I'd call Vans though. I would talk to them. They're probably the first source I would go to ask questions about, you know, is this a viable idea or is it a bad idea? Because probably someone's tried it. Probably someone at Vans has tried it. So there's a good chance that they'll know right away, like, oh, here's the problem you're going to run into if you do that. So, but other than that, done. The hardest part, the worst part about taking the bluing off this way is getting it off of here. I let it get good and thick, and then get your razor blade and just cut it all the way down. And it's almost, if you get it really thick, it's almost like a piece of PVC pipe. Like it gets hard. But anyways, that's how to take bluing off with a broom. Okay, so we're prepping for this bend. So let's make sure that we're bending the right way. So this particular piece of skin goes here. And what I'll do is I'll pull it off here right quick. Sounds awful, it's really not a big deal. So this piece of skin, which has bluing on the side over here on my side, goes here. And so we need that curve that you see down there on the bottom to curve that way underneath the plane. Well, so I'm going to put this, actually let's put this down over here just to get it out of the way. Put it on my trusty painter's stand. There we go. So now this one has to go here like this. I got a bunch of Clecos on there, so I don't want to do it, but so we know that this side with the bluing is outside, so this bottom area has to curve underneath the plane. So we know that this has to come up. So we've checked and we've made sure and we've re-checked to make sure that this is the correct thing. And I've done it like 3 times just to make darn sure that I'm going to curve it the right way. So now it's time to make our marks. Right here is curving up. So I've got these trusty tools that I made, which will clamp onto here. And that's what we're going to do the bending. But right now I need to make the marks on here so that I know exactly what we're bending where, which means I need to get my instructions and reread how to do those marks. Now that was going to be a couple pages ago. Now I should have done this the same time as I did the other one, but I wasn't real happy, like I said. Here we go. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing it correctly or research a better way to make these bends. Unfortunately, there just isn't a real good way to do it. Someone probably a lot smarter than me has figured out a good way, and there's probably even a kit or a template out there that'll like do it for you, but I don't have that. So So we need to run a line between these two holes. Okay, so per the plan, we're running a line here. Now I need to go 5/16 down. So 5/16 down, and we're gonna do, let's see, 5/16. From here. So 5/16. So this is 30 seconds. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right here. I need to get some of these marks off of my ruler. Get a couple of these little rulers. They're really handy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll use the crap out of them. So I've got 2 little marks. And now I'm going to draw this line. And the idea is this is supposed to be parallel. So we're going to go yoink, like that. And this should be roughly 5/16, which it is. So this is roughly 5/16 from this little area right here. Not quite, but slightly. But that's going to be the line from that point right here down to here, we're going to draw a straight line. So I need a nice long straight edge, which we have in the form of this tool that I created. So, like that. And now we just go draw a line, 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 line. Move my thumb so I can draw this. There we go. So this little, these retractable ultrafine Sharpies, you're going to use the crap out of these too. So there we go. We now have a line all along here that's going to be our roll line. And I like to line that up with the edge of my table. And then I'm going to get my piece of wood over here that I'm going to mount up, and we're going to start doing this roll. Let's make sure I'm going to move this to the edge so that the edge of this is right at this point. That kind of gives us an idea of where things need to be. And then, now you make a board, but that board that you make, really I don't see any advantage of that. I mean, just something flat and stout like this nice thick piece of plywood does the job. The idea is it will prevent the rest of the skin from bending, right? That's what we're doing here. So, got that lined up. I'm going to clamp that sucker down. And then we're going to clamp that in. Okay, so now we have this one piece of the metal that we want to work with loose and ready to go, and the rest of it should be kept from bending. So now we need to attach these little jobbies, which we're going to use to do the cranking. And again, we shaped this down here so that this part is a flat, and so that when you roll it over, it will roll nicely. And everything lines up like so. So now, and I moved it down one. Did I do that backwards? Oh, there we go. I did have it on backwards. Ha! Make sure you have it on right. So let's get some couple clecos running. Been so long since I did it, I forgot how to do it. Just gonna put one right in the middle to hold the whole thing together. So you've got on either side, the idea is they're gonna be sitting like this on top of each other with the skin in the middle so that you could really get a good crank on it. That's the idea. And now we're gonna go through and put a bunch of clecos in. The other thing is you're going to want to cleco from the bottom, because as you're cranking it this way, this board and these clecos will get in the way. So cleco it up from the bottom. So I hope everyone is having a lovely New Year so far. Wife and I did absolutely nothing on Christmas, which was great. I mean, actually I worked. I worked Christmas Day because that's the job. Sometimes you got to work when everyone else is off, but it was a nice peaceful day. And then for New Year's, we went and had dinner with the folks, which was nice. People always ask, did your wife get you anything for Christmas, or did you get anything for her? And the answer is always no. It's not that we don't celebrate Christmas, it's just that we kind of get stuff for one another throughout the year. So the notion of a single day on either end of the year where you buy stuff is kind of silly. Plus, I'm saving up for an engine. So I don't want to spend too much money. Get in there. Boy, sometimes those holes are tight. Don't want to go through. What do I do with the drill? Oh. So yeah, I'm saving up for an engine, so I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. And just tight. There we go. So we didn't do much of anything. And I am okay with that. All right. Last one down here. And then the last one down there. Some of my Clecos, I used to have the ones that I used like on the tanks and whatnot that got all boogered up with Pro Seal. I used to leave them in separate bins. At some point I screwed up and I mixed them all up. So sometimes it's difficult for me to get them on there because they've got like Pro Seal and goop on them. And I need to go back through and like try to clean them off. But you know, Pro Seal doesn't ruin your Clecos. It just makes them dirty. So you might want to have a set just for Pro Sealing, but you don't have to, you know. Okay, so here we go. I got some of these vice grips just for this. So put one of these like down here like that. And then I had another one like right here in the middle somewhere. And the idea here, and let me get the instructions so I'll read them to you so I can show you what I'm doing. All right. So it specifically says that you want to roll the skin into a cone. So this is going to be kind of a cone that terminates in a sharp bend at the forward end. This is the forward end. And remember, we want to roll it up because this is the inside of the skin. This is the inside. And it's probably not a bad idea to mark it inside or whatever so that you know. But we're going to roll this thing up. I'm going to put this here and I'm going to crank it forward and I'm going to lift this way. But you want to kind of push as you roll because if you just roll, it's going to crease all along here. So you want to kind of push it down while rolling it. And it even says, the roll's created with the vice grip handles, which we've added, and the sharp bend is naturally formed at the forward end here, and then you'll finish the sharp end later. Where does it say? Vice grips. Okay, yeah. Roll constructions angles with the vice grips and at the same time push the aft end down and inwards towards the table. So yeah, like I said, we're going to be cranking on it, and I'll just start doing it while pushing at the same time. Make sure your table won't roll. So the first time I did it, I started cranking on it, and the whole table just started running that way, and I had to go get some bricks and stuff and put down there. In fact, I need to go reset those bricks. See? Okay. And that's it. You're going to do this a number of times. It even says don't try to complete the roll in one iteration. You're going to be doing this a bunch, and it's a pain in the ass. So I'm going to work on this now. I'm just going to fast forward through this. But this is what we're doing. We're going to slowly try to roll this while pushing down and rolling at the same time. It's a pain. It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel like you're doing a good job, but slowly but surely we're gonna get that sucker in there. Anyway, all right, let me work on this. This is either a genius idea or a terrible one. So you saw me cranking on it, right? And it's a pain in the ass. And it really seems like it's one of those things that it just needs to sit in that position for a little while to think about it. I did that on the other skin with a series of different weights and bricks and leverage, and let it sit for a while, and it seemed to work really well. Well, I'm doing that again. So I've got this board, which I don't want to touch. I've got this board with a weight on it in the form of a cinder block. And it is attached to this board and the table itself by a clamp. And it's laying on top of one of these vice grips to pull it over in the right shape. And if you look at it, it's actually almost perfect in the right shape. So every once in a while I've been kind of adjusting it ever so slightly, but mostly I want to leave it alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit here and think about it for a little while, like a day or two, and hopefully we'll be good to go. This should set that skin, that curve, exactly as I want it. Again, it's basically what I did on this other curve, but I was still experimenting on this curve, on the other skin that goes on this side, so I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. Some might argue I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, but this looks like it'll actually work out pretty well. So, yeah. Cross your fingers. Give it a day, and we'll come back to this and see how it did.
3 days later.
All right, let's see how we did. It has been 3 days. So, step one, let's take this brick off slowly but carefully. Oh, that's a good sign. And then undo this ever so slowly. We're going to go the other way to undo it. No, that was right. It's really stout. Ooh, there's still a lot of spring in that. Wow. It didn't do anything. Holy crap. Jeez. Okay. Well, there you go. I kind of was hoping there would be more of a bend imparted in this, but there really isn't much of one at all. So, wow. This aluminum's really tough. All right, so I guess I'm going to have to do a lot more manually bending. Like I said, I had hoped that just putting it in that position and just letting it sit for several days would help it or encourage it to stay in that position. And no, there's still quite a bit of bending that needs to happen in order to encourage that. So, crap. All right, well, guess I'm going to sit here and do this by hand for a while and see if we can't get it further along. Darn. So while I continued to work in the background, I thought I'd answer a question. I had a couple people ask if I regret not getting quick build kit specifically for the fuselage, because the fuselage is probably the most complex kit so far, at least. The empennage is not that difficult, frankly. It gives you a good taste of how to build it. The wings are not hard. It's just a lot of doing the same thing over and over again. The fuselage is a lot of different stuff. And that actually keeps me interested. I would say of the three, get the quick build wings because they're just a pain in the ass. But no, I'm really thoroughly enjoying building the fuselage. I'm going to keep doing it here. I cannot wait till I get to a point where I'm merging the fuselage and the empennage. That's going to be amazing. You guys, if you want to build one of your own planes, you absolutely can. If you use my builder numbers down below when you order yours fan kits, no matter what it is, from RV-3 to RV-12, 14, 10, whatever, they'll send me $100. It's no money out of your pocket. They just send me a referral bonus as a thank you. And with that, guys, I'm going to cut this one short. Thank you so very much. If you click the like button down there and subscribe, it really helps my numbers and gets more people interested. Maybe they want to build a plane too and they just don't know about it. Anyways, thank you so very much. I'll see you next time.